Let's get ready to rumble!
So I have been playing Crash and Rumble for quite some time now since launch, and I have some opinions about the game. I will be going over some pros, some cons, and hopefully by the end of this video we'll come to some sort of conclusion. Yeah, let's get this started with. Starting off with the pros, I'm gonna say that this game has very solid gameplay. It's very simple at its core, but it also has a lot of depth once you really get knee deep into the action. Because there's a lot of split-second decision making you need to be doing, which makes every match involved and there's never a boring moment. And depending on which character class you choose to pick, the way how you approach the match can vary greatly. If you are a scorer, you will just chill, collect one per fruit and bank it, and just having a good old time. But if you're a blocker, you will make damn sure nobody can ever score in their bank, ever, and make everyone's lives miserable. Or if you are a booster, you're somewhere in between a scorer and a blocker, and I don't know, you're good at protecting the gem platforms, I guess. I don't know. And all of the characters, generally speaking, are very balanced. That might change in the future because this game is constantly getting updated, but as of the time of this recording, it seems fine to me. And that's about it as far as positives go. Some other unrelated notes I have about the game is that I think the game looks great, and it's very satisfying to getting to play as Ripperoo in a platforming type of game instead of it just being relegated to kart racer or a kart racer. Now with that out of the way, let's go and complain. I love complaining, guys. Complaining is so fucking fun. Starting off, I want to say that this game had a rough launch, to say the least. On launch, there was a bug that made it so the game crashed frequently and out of nowhere. It didn't matter if you played on PlayStation or Xbox, it would just happen for no reason. I initially thought this had to do with the fact I played it on PS4, but even on PS5 this was happening. Now this is an issue that not everyone has experienced, but me and many others have. And it made what should have been a very fun launch very frustrating. Now thankfully Toys for Bob has patched this bug so it's no longer an issue, but the fact that this was even a problem at all is a very big red flag for me. Now one other big issue I had with the game is the invite system. In this game you cannot even invite people to private lobbies if you aren't a party leader, which is just like, what? Most online multiplayer games have this function, so the fact that Crash and Rumble doesn't is pathetic. But not only that, the invites themselves are kind of broken. You can only invite people who have the game open up. So that means even if you are online on PlayStation or Xbox, the game won't know that, and in return making it actually impossible to invite that person. Now despite these issues, I would say that the invite system is still doable, but it shouldn't be this much of a nuisance, and Toys for Bob should definitely fix this. Now my last and final major complaint about Rumble is the lack of game modes. Currently the only permanent game mode is competitive matchmaking, and that's it. The only other major game mode we have had so far is Zaptrap, and that wasn't even a permanent one, that was a limited time game mode, which sucks because Zaptrap is a very fun game mode. I think limiting game modes under a specific time period instead of having it to be permanent is a bad idea. It's not the worst thing ever because I do still think the core gameplay itself is so fun that it doesn't really matter too much in my opinion. But for a lot of people, having just one game mode is a killjoy, and I can honestly understand that. So I think the best course of action to take is just to make any new game modes for this game permanent instead of limited time. But that said, I have now said everything I wanted to say and bring up about this game, so let's wrap this up, yeah? So in conclusion, I want to say that Crash and Rumble is a very fun and unique fresh take on the Crash Bandicoot series, and I hope going forward this game will continue to evolve and get better over time. So hopefully in the future all of the complaints I've listed off is no more, and this video will be completely outdated, and that will make me very happy, but only time will tell.